Hi, welcome to The Truth of Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Episode number 78 coming at you tonight. Big sports day in the D and NBA's biggest questions. Good preview episode. Best 78 of all time. This is an easy one. The monster from Buffalo, Bruce Smith. He was a beast.
Oh, defensive end.
Yeah. He was awesome.
Yeah, he's good in Madden.
Is he good in Madden?
Yeah.
I bet he's pretty good in Madden. Off the top, I don't have a ton. Michigan, Iowa, like a solid conservative game plan. Obviously, Harbaugh is just going to play conservative. He'll probably have to open up the playbook a little bit against Penn State.
It wasn't that conservative. They took a lot of shots. The past 2 weeks, they've taken a lot of shots. McCarthy and deep threats haven't really been on the same page. It's fine. Corum's the man. Donovan Edwards is the man. They'll have a test, right? What's the test against Indiana? It's in Indiana. It's a noon game.
Yeah.
They should win by a fair bit. The spread's probably pretty big. I don't think Indiana is very good this year, like always, respectfully.
Yep.
But Big Ten on the road, it's a big game.
Listen, the Big Ten is down a little bit as a conference, but they're still, you're not playing Vanderbilt. These are still solid teams. Penn State is, I think, 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's October 15th.
Yep.
At the Big House.
That'll be big. MLB playoffs are coming up. Isaac's trying to see if he can work in a way to go see Jay's game, which would be cool. I'm thinking Dodgers and Astros. I really haven't paid that much attention.
Don't care.
Doesn't
don't know.
really matter that much.
No one cares.
Be nice if Toronto would make a run. Bullpens and hitting home runs, that leads to success. And the Blue Jays have those two things.
Don't care.
Yep. Patrick Mahomes, silly. Man, he was making plays.
Oh, I didn't think we were going to get into that. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is the most talented quarterback in the league. And one of the most talented quarterbacks ever.
Awesome.
End of story.
So much better than everybody else. Tua. We talked a little bit about this last week.
Oh, I didn't think we were getting into this.
One of the worst injuries I've seen live, but I'm obviously old enough to have seen Joel Theismann almost get broken in half. Thoughts?
Oh, yeah. I prepared nothing. I didn't think we were talking about the scary Tua incident. It was awful. It was terrible for the NFL. It was terrible for Amazon Prime Video, who just picked up these Thursday night games. Yeah. It's terrible for Tua. Terrible for all the doctors that are now involved and those that might get in trouble. I hate it. I hate it for football. It's terrible. It's not good for the sport. I just want everyone to be okay and everyone to be healthy, and I'm rooting for Tua because that's my guy.
Okay, cool. That's all I have for off the top. Do you have anything?
Off the top segment for you. Let's see. Good job to the listeners. Good job, guys. You don't ever thank them. We wouldn't be anywhere without them.
I thank them a lot.
Dissing Kareem. All these new NBA guys dissing Kareem.
I don't understand that.
So, Kareem said Kyrie's a bad role model, pretty much, and said it like that.
He is.
I don't know what, because everyone acted like that was a hot take. And it was like, whoa, Kareem, you can't say that. I don't really understand why Twitter acted like, that's kind of like that is a hot take. Twitter acted like it's a hot take. And B, then they started trying to go at Kareem. Not really a good idea to go at Kareem. Then LeBron was brought into this. Of course he was, LaFraud. They asked him, you're going to pass Kareem in the record, blah, blah, blah. Any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on your relationship? Do you have a relationship with Kareem? No thoughts and no relationship. Next question. Wearing his sunglasses, completely, if you look at it, it's like, oh, wow. So, clearly, Kareem was not very accepting to LeBron coming to LA. So, you've got the anti-Kareem people, and then you've got the pro-LeBron people that are now anti-Kareem. It's a big mess. It just shows two things. One, Kareem's the man.
Kareem is really the man. He's done so many great things, obviously throughout his career, but since he's retired, he is awesome.
And the second thing that I was trying to say is that it shows that LeBron's not a Laker, right? LeBron will never be remembered as a Laker. He's not a Laker, right?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Best Lakers ever, best players of all time who wore Lakers jerseys. That's a different debate. Best Lakers of all time, Kobe's one.
Yeah, he's certainly not going to the
Kobe's
Hall
one.
of Fame as
Kobe's
as a
one.
Laker.
Kobe's one. Magic's two. 3. Shaq.
Kareem's one.
No, Kobe. Best Laker. No.
Okay, that's true.
That's
because
what I've been
because
laying
Kobe
out.
was his whole career.
Kobe, especially now, 10 years ago, you could have made the argument for Magic. 100% right now, it's Kobe, then Magic, then Kareem, then it's Shaq, James Worthy, kind of those.
Jerry West.
Jerry West is probably there, those guys that played, the Wilt. Wilt is not really considered a Laker, right? Kind of the same deal as how LeBron won't be a Laker. So, yeah, bad LeBron, good Kareem.
I need to look into more of that stuff because Kareem's one of those guys you don't pick on him.
And then everyone's like, "Whoa, here's a video of Kareem punching a dude in the face." Remember when he absolutely punched some guy and broke his nose? he got elbowed in the rib cage, and then that video surfaced.
Oh, this was like in 1974 or something.
Yeah, so then everyone's like, whoa, Kareem, you're not a very good role model. And it's like, okay, dude, good one.
Oh,
Like, you pulled a 3-second clip of Kareem's sock after he got elbowed in the ribs. Kareem, like, goes, and he's like, oh, my ribs. And he goes back in the plane and he just clocks this dude. It's a good clip. You should watch. It's really awesome.
I think I would like to get Beef Stew's take on this.
Isaiah Stewart?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can give him a call. Then last thing, Giannis quotes. I don't know if you saw it. Giannis had about a minute interview where he's just speaking so wise about how skill doesn't matter in the NBA. It's all about work ethic. And, he says he doesn't have a very good jump shot and his dribbling isn't the best, but it's about skill. It's about working hard like Kobe and Mike, and it's just a really good bit.
Awesome.
I love Giannis so much. We'll talk about him a bit. That's all I got for Off the Tops. Good job, listeners.
Good job, listeners. Okay, want to talk about our fun Sunday in Detroit?
Yeah, we can open with that.
Okay, perfect. So, because we were really season ticket holders last year for the Pistons.
Tell the people that we weren't.
I think we had 3-game. We bought a big 3-game package. Does that sound right?
A little 3-game package.
Yeah, little 3-game package.
Like, very little.
So Isaac got the email invitation to attend the Pistons open practice Sunday, just this past week. So it was myself, Isaac, and Dale, producer, huge fan of the show. 3 of us went over to say, okay, we're going to do a day in the D. Isaac parlayed into...
You forced the use of parlay there.
Parlay, yeah. Lions game.
Yeah,
right? So let's tie it all together.
Okay, yeah. You tried. Yeah, so we saw Pistons open practice, which we can spend a few minutes on. Mm-hmm. And then we literally ran from Little Caesars Arena to Ford Field to watch the Lions game. Pistons open practice. Doors open at 10. We were outside the gate like 9:52. There wasn't a lot of people. And then at like 9:58, there was a huge line. So that worked out really nicely.
Yeah, it did work out really well. We made lots of good friends. Want to talk about our first family of friends?
A little bit. You can talk. You can just address say the family.
Yeah, like Hebrew Nationals were freaking awesome. They were so good. The little 7-year-old dude, because we were talking about how we're gonna get in, and he said there's our seating, and I said you have to run, and I said to the little dude, I said, do you think you can run faster than him? And I pointed at Isaac, and he's like, yep.
Yeah, respect.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so we
Pistons Yarmulke. That was awesome.
That was Tigers fun as well.
Cool.
So we made friends in line. There was general admission, so it's first come first serve. So we book it. We can say where we went. We ended up first row.
Yeah, and this was not Val and Isaiah. This is Tal and Isaac and Dale.
Yeah, so we get first row, mid court, like they're great seats. And then we see people kind of fill in next to us, and they all have these pink wristbands. And we didn't have any pink wristbands, so it was kind of like, okay, get your pictures in case you get kicked out, and keep your wrist down. So we kind of make some friends with Sue next to us. You can tell the people about Sue.
Sue's awesome. Everybody is going up to her. Players, team president, everybody. And after a while, I said, so Sue, everybody loves you. She's like, well, I work here, and this is normally my section, and I'm just here with my sister, and we're having a good time, and Sue's awesome.
Sue's cracked.
Yep.
So we make friends with Sue, and then these kind of people next to us, and then some ticket guy, like a worker, goes up to us and asks if we have club seats. And that sounds like you want to. We don't. We have free general admission seats. So we hesitate, and I didn't answer, and Dale didn't answer, and Dad said, yeah, we have club seats. And then the worker's like, hey, well, this isn't the club seat area. You got to go back up there. And we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah. We're good.
And then he kicks out the people who fell for this club seats trap. We didn't. We stay there. And we watch the whole practice there, right? So.
And it started filling around us. Everybody's got pink wristbands.
We are the only people in that area.
Sue is maybe the only person who did not have a pink wristband.
Yeah, Sue just got dapped up by every person wearing a Pistons polo shirt. It was nuts. Or a name tag. So. We watched the open scrimmage. Do you want to? I don't think we should fully get into our Pistons thoughts yet. We'll do that. That's a whole segment where we talk about.
I would say just some thoughts from the scrimmage. We're not going to talk about starting lineups and points per game and things along those lines.
So thoughts from the scrimmage. Go ahead. I didn't write anything, but I got it.
Great seats, obviously. So we were able to see a lot of just the physical stature of some of these dudes. Amazing. Cade does look bigger. Obviously, there was a lot of chatter about that online, but he looks bigger. He looks stronger. Duran is and will be a beast. Duran is younger than Isaac, right? This is the first series of NBA players. Looks like he's about 7'1", and he's ripped.
I think he's 6'11".
Is he really?
He's not 7'1".
Okay.
I think Noel is close to 7 feet. Noel is a very tall man.
Big dude.
So the Duran thing was just a minute on Duran. like I was high on this kid in college, and he went to Memphis, and I don't like Memphis. I don't like what they do. I don't like Penny Hardaway. I just pays dudes and doesn't cover it up. I hate that stuff. But I like Duren at Memphis. And even before the draft, I was like, I don't know how I would love for I think I said it here. I should look at the receipts. I'm like, I would love for Duren to go to the Pistons. I think he's going to be good.
Yeah, I think you talked about Duren going at 5.
I might have. I was really high on Duren, right? Like if
I think you're saying like 6 or 7 for sure, though.
Yeah, right. Like if Ivy went 4, I totally would have been fine taking Duren at 5.
Yep.
Over Keegan Murray, respectfully to him, because I think he's a fine dude, a fine player. So Duren, just like he's awesome. Let's see. So Cade Bigger, Sadiq Bey. We'll talk about Sadiq Bey. Just spent the offseason climbing mountains, essentially, right? Because he was just shooting jump shots, and they said enough of that.
You need to take a bit of time off.
Yeah, jump shoots and weight room, and they said no, time off. So he just climbed mountains and like got super cut. So he looks like just an absolute animal, which he will be. I think you can play him at the 2, or you can play him at the 4 sometimes. Like he's that good of a versatility guy.
I agree.
What else do you have about players?
So the thing about NBA players, they're all amazing shooters. Amazing shooters, right? They're hitting 8 of 10 3-point shots. Just, when they're warming up again. Sorry, they're warming up. Killian still cannot really shoot. All this talk about him changing his shot, it doesn't matter. If he's by himself, nobody guarding him, he's still only hitting half of his jump shots. In the scrimmage, he was a little bit more aggressive, but not that much. I don't expect much of Killian. I like him to be better because I like him to be a really solid backup point guard. I don't think it's going to happen. Ivy, wow, is he quick.
Yeah, Ivy. Yeah, the first step on Ivy was just like, I feel like he can blow by 90% of NBA guys right now. The Hayes thing, Hayes kind of has this following where it's like people that are very pro Hayes.
I don't understand. Is that the same people that are like pro?
I don't know.
Kyrie?
Maybe. Look, here's my thing. I don't care about Killian Hayes. The dude has done nothing to win me over. The only thing I care about is if he is good, my basketball team is good. So I'm rooting for him to be good.
Sure.
It's not like I have an attachment, right? Like Cade. I have an attachment for Cade the person, and he'll also make my team better. So I'm rooting for both. Same with Penei Sewell. Same with Aiden Hutchinson. Whereas Killian Hayes, it's like, I don't like this guy for any particular reason. Not that I dislike him, but it's not like, oh, he's really funny in interviews.
But if Killian's playing okay and Chris Paul gets dinged up again and Phoenix says, I need a backup point guard because they're going to run Cam as a starter.
No.
If we can get a second-round draft pick for Killian, I'd be okay with that.
No way they trade him. Not yet. There's no shot.
I agree with you, unfortunately. A couple other just thoughts. Bojan, what a sweet shooter. Like, he barely moves his body when he's shooting, and it's just string. Awesome.
Same with Alec Burks. Alec Burks just
Alec Burks too.
Like, it's like he's just a dude. He could miss he didn't play in the scrimmage. Just during warm-ups, he's like, oh, yeah, he just hit 13 to 15 threes from that spot. Who else? I'm trying to think. Isaiah Livers was out working. Isaiah Livers, I think, is going to be a good role player.
Yeah.
And he knows his role. He said kind of some things in the offseason that was basically like, look, I know I'm not going to start. I don't know how often.
To set screens, set some shots, hustle, do whatever I need to do.
So John Beilein, we saw my man John Beilein.
Yeah, I just mentioned the coaching staff. Obviously, we don't have a lot of comparison, but a huge number of coaches, and they were into it, like taking detailed notes. Like John Beilein, what would he be, 73 years old or something?
I don't know.
Right into it, lots of guys. I think we need to talk about Troy Weaver for a couple minutes.
Do the Troy Weaver bit, yeah.
So Troy comes back out.
Troy Weaver, people that aren't basketball fans, general manager of the Detroit Pistons, who we love.
Yeah. So he walks by us and we said, hey, Troy Weaver, we love you, we trust you. And he kind of like said hello and nodded to us. And then he was completely into the practice, watching everything. Your bit about the Isaiah Stewart thing was kind of interesting.
Oh, so Isaiah Stewart, who we love.
During the scrimmage.
Isaiah Stewart limped off the court during the scrimmage. Like, in the middle of a play, just went right to the bench. And Troy Weaver he was right in front of us. So Troy Weaver's like a couple feet in front of us. So I'm kind of all eyes on Isaiah Stewart. And then I see him look right at us. And I'm like, what? Isaiah Stewart, he's looking at us. Oh no, he's probably looking at Troy Weaver in front of them. And then they have like an 8 or a 10-second exchange through hand gestures.
I'm good, don't worry, I'm cool.
And melding each other and pointing. And it was just like, oh wow, they just had a conversation right in front of us. And it was clear from that conversation, it's like, okay, Isaiah Stewart's okay, and Troy Weaver didn't.
Like, I don't think Pat Riley does that. Now, Pat Riley has Alonzo Mourning. I think Alonzo Mourning probably does that.
And Shane Battier, yeah.
Yeah, but it shows you how vested Weaver is in his guys.
Yeah, that was cool.
Professionally run, We're excited about the Pistons.
Are we going to talk about our interaction with Troy Weaver?
We probably should talk about that as well, yes.
Yeah, go ahead. You brought it
So
up.
we were waiting kind of for the right time to call him over for a picture. And Isaac, timing was perfect. Go ahead, describe it.
Right when the scrimmage ended, we needed to book it and go to the Lions game. But Mr. Weaver got up and was kind of right in front of us. So I, Mr. Weaver, could you get a picture? And he's a very quiet guy. Yeah, okay, sure, yeah. So we kind of pose, take a picture of the three of us, Mr. Weaver, shake his hand, I'm dapping him up.
Well, 4 of us, because Dave was there too.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yes. Dap him up. Good dude. Hey, thanks guys. Yeah, thanks. And then kind of went right to the locker room, the tunnel. Very different from our Dwayne Casey meeting, where Dwayne Casey was so loud and energetic.
Okay, yeah, that's good, okay.
But, in the span of a month and a half, Deo and I, and others in both instances, met Dwayne Casey and Troy Weaver, which is just really cool. I feel like Tom Gores is the Pistons owner.
Yeah.
Hey, he's next on the list. We're going to bump into him soon.
I'd rather talk to John Beeline.
Beeline, I'd rather get on the list. And then I should talk, my boy Jair, one of my buddies, met Cade, got an autograph with Cade. He stayed after the scrimmage ended, and Cade went out and signed for like an hour.
That's cool.
So Jair got Cade's autograph, so it just solidifies in my head that one day I will meet Cade. It's going to happen.
For sure.
That's
so
all
then,
I got
so then we ran out of the Palace, ran down the street by Comerica Park, right? Because there was a Tiger game that was on. So we actually watched about 15 seconds of the Tiger game as we were running down the street. Didn't see any game action.
No.
So this time we're like looking online to see what tickets are going for. We're checking out the scalper scene. There's not a lot of scalper, just like people selling tickets for the game. I think Detroit fans are pretty excited about the Lions, and even though they lost, obviously, the previous week, still lots of excitement. So not a lot of tickets going for cheap. And I thought they would drop before the game. They didn't. So now we're playing this whole game back and forth, talking to different people, checking online. $100, $125 a person to get in. And we really didn't want to spend that much money. So we're at the main entrance, and then we're walking by, and then there was a cop with the canine dog. And he said, "Are you guys really looking to get it in for yourselves?" I said, yeah, we're not scalpers. We just want to get in. She's like, "Well, listen, I know a couple of the guys. I'll just walk you down." So she walked us down, introduced us to this one guy who we had already been talking with earlier, who had asked for, $100 a person. Now it's about 112, 114. So the game's already started. It's in the first quarter. Again, we're going back and forth. He's like, okay, 150 for 3. And we walked away and said, if we can get 100, we're good.
Tell the people, not me. The mic, right?
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the mic. So we got $100 for the 3 of us. So we agreed. And the guys, they just want to get in. I'm like, yeah, we just want to get in. So he's like, okay, well, you're going to come in with me. So he didn't have tickets. And we're like, okay, are you playing a game? And he's like, no, I'm 53 years old. I'm playing the game. I said, well, I'm the same age, so let's figure this out. Isaac, now do you want to describe what happened?
Okay, yeah. So we're right behind him. Like, he has our money, and there's no way we're in line. Like, he can't leave. There's 3 of us. We're kind of strategically,
we're huddled together.
Him. Yeah. And I think he might have scanned 1 ticket, and he leans over to the ticket worker, who we won't say anything. We just said something, and okay, yeah, you guys are good. This is what the worker said, so we just follow this guy in. So we didn't have a ticket. To reiterate, we did not have a seat. Like, we didn't have a seat. So
and it didn't faze us one bit.
No, we didn't care. So we get good seats. We right in the right above the lower deck, and so in between the lower deck and the upper deck, there's like that area kind of connected to the concourse where there's like cushion
about 12
seats.
feet. There's some cushion seats every now and then. Like a little bit further down, there's a couple of folks in wheelchairs. We did not take a handicapped person's seat. Let's be really clear about that.
Respect. We didn't. So we found 2 seats, which turned into 3. We sat there. We talked to people on both sides of us. Watched the whole game there. Did not get asked to leave. It was awesome. So
they were really good seats. I'm sure the people in front of us paid easy 140, 150.
Yeah, easily.
Each.
Really quickly, we got to get going at hoops, but I'll just say some things. I have some quick notes on the Lions game. Some of them are questions. Some of them are shout-outs. First, shout out Auntie Steph and her cookies, because we would not have survived the day without them.
We did not eat a lot on Sunday.
No, so good thing we had the cookies that made the trip to Detroit.
Good job, Auntie Steph.
So Auntie Steph potentially saved all 3 of our lives that day. Another thing, shout out Jacob and his brothers. Those are the dudes I sat next to.
Jacob was awesome.
Yeah, so the Amon-Ra St. Brown bobblehead, YouTube viewers can see. That's from my man Jacob, who got like a free giveaway or just somehow had it and just gave it to me because it's my dog. He's probably listening to the pod at this point. Shout out Todd Hawkinson. This is TJ's dad who we met, who was
Awesome.
Super cool dude. He just kind of ended up next to us, and we're like, "Oh, Hawkinson." He's like, "Oh, that's my son." And then we kind of talk to him, and we look him up.
And then he just had the big, like a 81-yard
And
reception.
Then, 2-point conversion.
2-point conversion. It was awesome.
So we're kind of hugging him, and we're like, "Is this actually?" And we're like, "I don't know. It's just act." And then we see him go down to the friends and family section and hug like 15 people in Hawkinson jerseys. Shout out mom, because she didn't understand, and I don't think she still does, how we got into the game. So we tried.
So what do you mean you didn't have tickets? Like,
Where
did
were
you
your-
sit?
Where were
you
your tickets? Yeah. No, I know. Okay, so we sat here. Okay, so you sat there, but where were your actual seats? No, we didn't have seats. Another one. Good job, refillable popcorn. That also helped us survive, and that also brought us home. And also, good job, maybe refillable cup. We're not sure if it's refillable, as we didn't purchase it. I found it on the ground and brought it home.
Fair.
So it might be refillable, but good job. Why do people go into Ford Field at 9:45 a.m.?
I don't know.
Just
like,
another-
we were walking by at 9:45 to go to the Pistons, and there was like not a few people, hundreds and hundreds of people going.
Like, go to a bar and watch Kirk Cousins throw interceptions with Andy Dalton. Like, watch the London game. Go to the Pistons. There's just things to do in Detroit that's not sit in Ford Field for 3 hours and do nothing.
Yeah.
And then why can't people leave the stadium? People have a hard time exiting the stadium that we talked about. Yeah. We're just like some people get excuses respectfully, and then some don't. And the people that don't get excuses,
yeah, it's like the dude in the wheelchair
Totally.
was ahead of
Yeah.
15,000 people.
yes, yes.
So I don't really understand. It was tough getting out of Detroit because there was a lot going on, but
Yeah.
still, it was cool. It was a good
Really
day.
quick, do you know what a scoregami is before we move on? Scoregami.
No.
It's a big thing on the internet. It's when we have a final score in the NFL that's never happened before.
Oh, okay.
It's
'Cause
very-
that happened for the Lions.
48-45 had never happened in NFL history. So
Wait a sec. 48-45. Isn't that a basketball score?
Yeah. So that was the only NFL game in NFL history that had a 48-45 score, and we were there, so that was cool. And then the Lions, this is just a real quick little tidbit. Lions are averaging 35 points a game this year, and 35.3 points per game allowed. So they're just 0.3 points per game off from tying every game. So we're close. We're
So
almost
in that 0.3 points, we've lost 3 games by 0.1 points. Is that it?
Yes.
good.
This is so 281 combined points. The Lions have scored and given up. That's the most in first 4 games of NFL history. So that's a lot of points that the Lions are involved with.
Boy.
Yeah. That's all I got there.
I guess my one question is, what do the Lions do? Like for the next...
It's easy. Draft defense. They're not going to, right? Like, they're going to improve without
Is there any
wins.
chance that Goff is their quarterback for all of next year? Because I thought there was no chance going into the season. I think there is now.
Well, even if they draft a guy at 3rd overall, if they won't pick 3rd overall, but if they pick 7 and get a QB, they can totally sit him for a year. Like, there's lots of possibilities where Goff stays, which is whatever.
Fair enough.
NBA, go.
So what we did is we each kind of looked at East, West, just to kind of get a bit of an idea. Isaac is going to ask me some questions. I'm going to ask him some questions. And then we'll just chatter a little bit about where we see things ending up.
All right. We'll start with, what do you want to start with?
You ask me one.
Okay, so we're going to start with the West. I just want to say really quickly, this was a lot of fun. I didn't prep a ton. I prepped a good bit. This was just so fun for me to look into. Like, I just love basketball so much. It was awesome to put these questions together and look at rosters and salaries and this kind of thing.
I need to give a little shout out to Isaac. We played first night of old guy basketball last night. We played threes. Man, Isaac was hitting everything. And we played all together 2.5 years ago. A couple of the guys were like, I haven't missed a shot in 2.5 years. Well, it's because you haven't taken one. Isaac's taken about 1 billion. He was just hitting step back threes, lefts, right. No fun. And obviously I had to pull a hamstring about an hour in.
Yeah. Well, because you're trying to do some stupid Magic Johnson behind the back pass or whatever that was. So that's kind of on
I was
you.
just trying to blow by
But
TJ.
respect. Thanks for the compliment.
I hit some shots too.
Yeah, and then you tried to be Magic Johnson in a half-court game. Not in transition, in a half-court transition. And that's where you...
That was a bit much.
Okay. Jamal Murray. Is he going to push the Nuggets to the top of the Western Conference? Go for it.
So I have the Nuggets 2nd seed overall. They're healthy, and they have the 2nd best player in the world. And Jamal Murray is going to have a huge year. He's going to start off a little slow, but yes is the answer.
Who's the 2nd best player in the world? Jokic?
Yeah.
Who's the 1st?
Giannis.
Who's 3?
Then you get into Luka.
I would take Luka, Steph, and KD. I think all over Jokic, respectfully. Embiid, I like Jokic a lot. Let's easy on the Jokic stuff, even though he wants to be the Tim Duncan of Denver, which is a great quote.
I love that.
Good job, Jokic. I think the Nuggets are going to be. So you think they're going to be a second seed?
Yeah, I've got Golden State 1, and I got Denver 2.
Who do you think?
Phoenix is going to slip a little bit.
We'll talk about them.
Yeah.
Okay, you asked me. You want to do all West or all East, or how do you?
No, I'll
want
hit you with an East. When will the Celtics implode?
Thank you for saying when. I like that. Just
Yeah, not an if. It's a when.
It's not going to be right away. I don't think. They're a really good team. They're still going to win a ton of games. They might win the East. They might win the finals. Like, they're a really good basketball team.
Yeah, I've got them as third in the East. But my question is, when will they implode?
Okay, who's ahead of them?
Milwaukee and Philly. Then Miami is
interesting.
1 game behind Boston.
I'm not high on Miami, but we'll get there. So the question is, when will Boston implode? I don't like it. Depends on implode. They're going to make the playoffs. They're probably going to go to the second round. I just don't think what happened last year, so much went right for them to be there.
A lot had to go right.
And a lot is going wrong this year. So for that reason, I don't think Boston is going to be as good as they were last year.
Okay.
That's what I'll say there.
Fair enough.
Lakers. This is so much fun. Okay. I'm gonna go through their roster really quickly. This was the best part of doing my prep, looking at the 14-man roster. Okay, so I'm gonna read the roster, and you just have to talk with Lakers for a couple minutes. Okay. Westbrook, LeBron, AD. Don't try to write this down. Pat Bev. Okay, so now we're gonna drop off a little here. Lonnie Walker.
Okay.
Kendrick Nunn. We're gonna drop off a little more. Damian Jones, Wenyen Gabriel. Juan Toscano Anderson.
We know him.
We've heard that name. Troy Brown Jr., brother of Bruce Brown.
Oh.
Okay. Thomas Bryant, the dude that Blake Griffin got into a fight like 4 years ago.
Yes.
And then he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
Ready? Jay Huff. His last name, Huff, potentially related to the Huffs from the Step Brothers film. Just maybe.
Could be.
I haven't looked into
Could
that.
be. Hello, Miss Lady.
Austin Reeves.
We know him.
Max Christie. He went to Michigan State.
Oh, that's right.
That's the Lakers roster.
Wow.
Now talk about that.
Okay, so I love the fact that, I'm not going to ask when the Lakers are going to implode because it's really been about 2 years where the Lakers have been imploding. So I have the Lakers listed as the 10th seed this year, 40 wins. I actually wrote, don't need more chatter. My only question is, the Lakers mortgage the future to try and win now, right? They've got first in 2027 and 2029.
Right now,
I know that's not a question.
No. Yeah. The Lakers suck right now. Like, they're a 10 seed at best.
Yep.
I am very afraid that they're going to make some sort of win now trade and give up their future and get either Kyrie at one point, or if they're afraid I'm Kyrie, Jeannie Buss pulls the trigger and she goes for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, because those two pieces...
I've been hearing that for a little bit.
Those two pieces would make this actually a really good team. Right now they suck. They can be really good soon.
Even if they trade for those two dudes, right? Turner and Hield, I still don't think they're better than a 6 seed, right? Golden State, Denver, Phoenix, Memphis, Minnesota, Clippers are probably all better than a Lakers team, even with a trade. And that's assuming Dallas doesn't pick anybody
I was
up.
going to say, you didn't say Dallas there, right?
I didn't. They're going to need to add a guy as well.
Okay. Did you say the Pelicans?
I've got the Pelicans right below Dallas in terms of that list. But if the Lakers do trade for 2 guys, then that will bring the Lakers over Portland and New Orleans and right around where Dallas is.
Did you say the Wolves?
Yeah, Minnesota's. I've got them as 5.
Okay. I didn't do an actual seeding yet, but right now the Lakers suck. Like, are they that much better than the Damian Lillard, Jeremy Grant, Portland Trailblazers?
And we're happy that they suck.
I'm very happy. It's good for basketball, respectfully. Okay.
When I started to prepare, I guess I prepared this on Sunday. I'm going to cross this off. Will the Heat sign Hero? Well, the answer is yes, so we're going to skip to that one. Will Milwaukee stay healthy, and where do they finish at the end of the year?
Milwaukee's going to be 1 seed, and they're probably my pick to win the NBA championship. Okay. I'm pretty early on that. I really, really like the Bucks. I think, again, a lot went wrong for them last year. Kind of the opposite of what I think might happen with Boston. I think this is the year where a couple guys can stay healthy. Maybe a couple other teams in the East have big injuries instead of Milwaukee having the big injuries. I don't think Giannis can get injured. Like, I don't know. He's made out of some sort of
2 years ago, we thought he ripped his ACL and he just kind of put it back in together and was awesome.
That was really cool. I think the Bucks are totally fine. I'm very high on the Bucks. So we have a Miami question. Are we not even talking about the Heat?
I have a Miami question.
There was the hero one. Or do you have a real one?
Oh, I've got another one.
Okay, so Bucks are my 1 seed, and they're my pick to win the NBA championship. For sure to win the East. And, all teams are healthy. Like, if every team is healthy, it's the Bucks. Bucks all the way. They're so good.
Okay. Hit me.
Clippers hype. Are you buying into it?
So the Clippers are going to start slow. I think part of it is they're going to bring George and Kawhi back slowly. This is odd because they had a bunch of kind of role player guys who did really well without the 2 stars. So they're going to have some issues with working them back in their system. So they start slow and I think finish strong. Actually, I have them as a 6th seed winning 48 games. But they will probably be the 2nd or the 3rd best team in the West by the end of the season.
Okay, so that 6 seed take, that's going to look horrible in a couple months.
Okay.
They're going to be for sure a 6 seed. Probably top 5, top 3 seed. Maybe like top 1. Like I think I'm buying in.
See, I don't think Kawhi's going to play a lot this year, and then they're going to tune him up for the playoffs.
You think they'll win 48 games?
Yep.
And be a 6 seed?
Yep.
Okay, I'm taking the over on both, respectfully.
Good. I mean, I've got Memphis at 50 games as the 4 seed, so they're only 2 games out of Memphis, the 4 seed.
Yeah, Memphis is good. Forgot.
Yeah.
So Vegas has the Clippers at the 3rd best odds to win the championship, behind the Celtics and the War. The Celtics are 5-1. Warriors are 6-1. Clippers are 6.5-1.
That's close.
Then you have a drop. You have the Bucks at 7-1.
Okay.
Clippers are 3. I don't understand how you can have the Clippers ahead of the Bucks right now. Why are the Bucks 7-1? Bucks are awesome. Do people forget? That aside,
I don't understand.
Clippers, I'm buying into more than you.
But does that have to do with like where they are and the money that's up there, or lack of money?
I'm not sure what you mean by money. Like
just like big TV markets and money markets.
No, that has nothing to do with this.
Okay.
Milwaukee's awesome. I'm very high on Milwaukee.
I agree.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm asking you a question.
Hopefully, yeah.
Will Cleveland mesh, and where do they end up?
For sure. High on Cleveland. They're going to mesh. They're not winning anything this year. They're probably 2nd round exit, potentially 1st round exit, depending on who they get in the 1st round. Like if they draw a tough team with playoff experience in the 1st round, aka the Raptors, that could be a 4-5 team that might be tough, right?
Yep.
I am buying into the Cavs. I think Mobley is so good. I think he's going to be really good. I think Garland is great. Mitchell is going to be perfect. Isaac Okoro, I like. Karis LeVert is going to be perfect. The Cavs are a really, really good team. They're a really likable team. So I'm going to say, yes, they mesh. They're going to be... I don't have these in front of me, but they're going to be excellent.
Okay, good answer.
Thank you. Pelicans. Are you buying in as much as I am buying in?
I am buying in.
Good.
I think that core is going to be good. They'll be fun to watch. Zion appears to have got a trainer and has appeared to ease off of the cheeseburger diet.
Okay, enough. That was disrespectful. But I'm not letting that slide.
Which is bad for the rest of the league because he's a freak. Like, I love Point Zion, Ingram, McCollum. They got dudes. They're going to be fun to watch. And, again, they're probably only going to, because the West is so deep, they're going to be like a 7 seed or something like that, but not fun to play in the playoffs.
I'm so high on the Pelicans. It's actually dangerous. Like, the Herb Jones bandwagon, full steam. I've loved Zion. I love Zion so much. He's so good for the NBA.
Like grade 10.
Yeah, because my generation grew up with the, oh my gosh, who is this guy just dunking on 13-year-olds? And it was Zion a lot of the time, right? So I'm really, other than the Pistons, actually the Pelicans might be the number 1 team I'm rooting for this year. They built the team the right way. There's a lot of realities. Let's not check the email with all due respect right now. Okay, that's fine. I'll just carry this respectfully.
You go from it. Wow, yeah, that's a long one.
Yeah. There's so many realities where the Pelicans are like a top 5 seed. And I'm not saying it'll happen, but there's a lot of it where Ingram averages 30 a game and stays healthy. Sure, Zion can easily average 30.
Two All-Stars.
Zion and Ingram?
Yeah.
Then you got CJ McCollum, who's perfect in this kind of team.
Absolutely.
Herb Jones is going to take a step up. Jonas Valanciunas is actually pretty good for these guys.
Yes, because Zion's, for all his athletic marvel, he's not a spectacular rebounder.
Yeah, he's like a 7 rebound per game kind of guy right now.
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to watching the Pelicans. They totally bought me. I bought in last year in the playoffs.
They'll be fun to watch.
Really looking forward to them.
Okay. So Miami, who was recently voted as having the best coach in the NBA, who do they trade for?
Maybe like we talked about Bogdanovich. Maybe. I am so out on Miami. It's actually sad. Respect, for real. I think they missed Jimmy's window. I can see them not even being a top 5 seed after being a 1 seed last year.
I've got them as 4 seed.
The East is so good, and Miami did nothing.
Except lost Tucker.
Except lose Tucker, essentially. Right? Like,
They need a wing who can guard a lot of people.
well, they already have the best wing who can guard a lot of people in the NBA in Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, but they need a power forward kind of guy.
The Heat can't win anything with Caleb Martin starting at power forward, and that's who their starting power forward is right now. Oof. So it's tough.
And honestly, Bam hasn't progressed as much as I thought he was going to.
He just gets cardio on offense, just runs around, sets screens, and maybe gets an off putback. It's actually like
he's kind of like Steve Roberts.
Sure. It makes me sad where Miami is right now because they completely missed Jimmy's window, and I think not that Jimmy's done. But what Jimmy did...
He won't be able to carry a team like he did
right?
in
Like,
bubble.
I don't know if Jimmy's going to do 47, 9, 8, and 4 in Game 6 at Boston again this year. I don't know if he can do that because not many people in NBA history can do that, statistically speaking. Right? So...
Jimmy's 34?
Something like that, yeah. And he's great and he's awesome and I love Jimmy. But this Heat team is not a good roster right now compared to what the Sixers have, what the Bucks have, what the Celtics have, etc.
I agree.
Okay.
What do you got for me?
Where are you on the Suns right now?
So, it's weird because they still have a lot of talent. Booker's still good, but I think the Suns are going to have a decent amount of wins, but I don't believe they will do well in the playoffs. Unfortunately, CP3 is just older, and I think the dynamics, they still haven't really straightened around with Ayton. So what type of a role does Ayton play? Crowder, what's he doing?
Well, Crowder wants out, and
I know. So who are they going to trade him to? Miami?
People have talked about Miami, and they send like a Duncan Robinson or something to Phoenix, which would be interesting because they like Cam Johnson at the power forward. So the Phoenix thing, you said, I think you used the word weird. It's a great word to describe what's happening in Phoenix. Owner stuff aside. Take that stuff aside.
Yeah, I just wrote slipping and weird. And then, the Ayton, Crowder, and then the Creepla Carver. What's his name?
Oh, Sarver?
Sarver.
Yeah, bad dude. DeAndre Ayton quotes. Did you hear what he said?
Hadn't talked to Monty since Game 7 last year?
So Ayton dropped 2 nuggets on media day. One of them was he hasn't talked to Monty Williams since Game 7. Not a great thing to say. Monty Williams, they asked him about it, and he kind of a great answer and was like, I haven't talked to all the guys yet and haven't seen some of them, and that's he just kind of played it off. But it's clear, like I don't know if you watched Ayton's interview. No. Ayton was just pissed off. Like
I did read that his quote, but that's
then they're like, so Ayton, what was your reaction when Phoenix matched your offer? Oh, I was happy. Was so, and it was like, so are you happy to be back in Phoenix? Yeah, I'm fine, I guess. Like he literally said like, I'm okay, I guess, or something like that, and it just looks like he's miserable. So I'm kind of low on Phoenix.
So in 2 years, Phoenix may have Book, I guess Bridges. And that's it, because CP3 will be done.
Yeah.
And Ayton, they're probably going to have to trade at some point.
We talk about disgruntled superstars. We think Shea might be the next guy. In 2 years, a year, I think.
I did read that rumors about Toronto keeping an eye because they want to get him.
Shea?
Yeah.
We talked about that one. I have 2 quick numbers here about the Suns before I move on.
Okay.
They won 64 games the regular season last year. They were 64 and 18.
That's a lot.
So it's tough for me to be that low with that good of a coach, but they won 64 games. Another number I have here is they were down 47 points in Game 7 at home 1 point to Luka Doncic. They were down 30-27 in the third quarter, except Luka had 30 and the Suns had 27, right? Like
it's awesome.
I've never seen anything like that. I'm low on Phoenix.
Okay. Will Kyrie become the next Dennis Rodman?
Elaborate.
So Rodman, very talented, but the last few years of his career, you just had to deal with the fact that he's going to go to Vegas for 3 days. He's just going to go off the rails and do all sorts of goofy stuff and then walk back on the court and get 18 rebounds. Can Kyrie transition to that player? Because right now he's too much wacko and doesn't play enough because of his issues. My question is, can Kyrie transition into the next Rodman?
I don't think he can, yes. I don't think he will. I would bet against that he would become kind of that Dennis Rodman thing. I just think that the Nets I don't think the Nets have any patience or time for that, especially if they're not contending.
Okay, quick follow-up. Does Ben Simmons play the 5 for the Nets?
That's their best lineup. I was talking to Tom about this. He thinks their best lineup is Simmons at the 4, Claxton at the 5. I think running Simmons at the 5, you can't run this against Philly but you can run it
because Embiid is going to dunk Simmons.
You can probably run it
into the
against
fourth row.
against Miami. You maybe can run against Milwaukee if Lopez is off the court. You can probably run against Boston.
Yep.
Simmons at the 5 is very dangerous.
Like there's only a couple of people in the East where you could not run that against. Right? Embiid, that's tough. Who else?
Well, there's no big centers like that have to be on the court in the Eastern Conference, right? Like Toronto sometimes runs Siakam at the 5. Simmons can clamp Siakam, I think, right? Not clamp, but
like Cleveland, it's probably a little tough.
Oh, good call, very good call.
Yep.
They can't run that against Cleveland. No way, unless they have 2 Ben Simmonses, because Mobley and Allen, right?
Yeah,
that's Cleveland. They can't run that against. Good,
but I
good
think
job.
you can like check Vucevic from Chicago. He'd be able to check him.
Yeah, because Vucevic just plays like a guard, right? Yeah. Mavericks. What's their ceiling?
Who, unfortunately, you've got Luka and a whole bunch of NRL guys. So I said Luka and NRL guys can win 40 games. So Luka and his current lineup, I have them scheduled to win 43 games.
So you think they're a game above 500?
43 and 39. Oh, is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's 43 and 39.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not good at math.
I think because they don't have a lot of depth guys. Like, again, they did well last year. I think Dallas, I'm assuming they're going to trade for a guy. Like, they pick up Bojanovic. That is big, right? Dallas or Miami picks up Bojanovic. That would be huge. But right now I have them at 43 with their current roster.
I think the Mavericks' ceiling, again, a lot went right for them last year. Their ceiling is what happened last year. They go to conference finals, right?
Yeah.
That's their ceiling.
I think they're going to lose in the second round, maybe the first round.
I don't think Luke is losing.
Roster.
I don't think Luke is losing the first round. Depends who they play.
Yeah,
he's pretty good. Just best player on the court in playoff series is a big deal, and he'll be that in basically every series.
Just about every series he plays.
Christian Wood, just to add on, like Christian Wood coming off the bench,
that was a little weird. I assumed like he's a very talented guy. He's a head case, but I was surprised when I heard that.
It makes me a little nervous.
He probably closes the game, but...
Yeah, he actually had a good quote where he's like, this is the first I'm hearing of this, but it doesn't matter who starts, it matters who closes. Because Jason Kidd said he's 6-man exclusively. And, okay, so Tao's out of commission again. So this would be his turn to ask me a question. So I'm just going to go on to my
I'll ask you.
Okay.
Swaggy P. Siakam says he wants to be a top 10 player in the NBA. What is his ceiling?
Not that. Look, like, I've talked about the Raptors. I think they're a really good team. I think Scotty Barnes in 2 years might be their best player. If he develops, so like if he gets a jump shot.
I agree with you. Yep.
How different is he than Siakam right now? Siakam can take over a game and a half court on offense, and Scotty Barnes is very far from that. But Siakam is the first option. We've seen it the past 2 years, and it's not great. Him as the third
you can only
option.
do so many spin moves, kind of up and under kind of things.
Him as the second option, third option works.
Oh, yeah. He's the second best player on the team. You're a really good team.
Yep, but he cannot be a top 10 guy like he wants to be. Sorry, Pascal.
Agree.
I think Van Vliet for long stretches of Raptors games is better than him. I don't watch as much Raptors as I do Pistons, but I watch a lot of Raptors, and there's sometimes where Siakam disappears, kind of like the Invisible Man.
Yep.
Timberwolves. So, are they contending for an NBA Finals?
No.
So then they lost the trade.
They lost the trade.
Good.
They have one guy who can only play offense. They have one guy who can only play defense. That doesn't work in the NBA. Even though we all love Ant-Man, they just don't have enough total guys around them, and they're missing 2 big pieces.
I don't think everyone loves Ant-Man.
Oh, he did some bad things, didn't he? Oh, yes. He was not so woke.
So he said something he shouldn't have said.
It was terrible.
So I don't think Ant-Man...
Just look that up online. Look up Anthony Edwards.
Quote.
Yeah.
It'll come up.
Yeah.
So I don't think everyone loves Ant-Man, respectfully. Timberwolves, look, with that trade, like they have to contend for a finals with what they gave up. And I agree with you. Go ahead.
What does Indiana dump to get rid of? What do they need back with a Turner and Buddy Hield?
Good one. It depends. Do they want to completely Wembanyama tank? And in that case, their asking price probably isn't going to be that high for Turner and Hield. But if they are stupid and value themselves as a play-in team, which they might, because some moves have kind of like, right, like the losing, the getting Halliburton trade is just like that one that was always confusing at the time. Depends where they view themselves as a team. I don't want them to trade Turner and Heald for 2 future firsts in Westbrook. I don't want that to happen. Even though they probably win that trade, I just do not want to see the Lakers with that roster.
Okay.
But the Pacers suck. That's what I have there. Warriors, do they have any chance of running it back?
Yes.
Okay.
They still have Steph Curry. Now, Clay and Draymond Green have dipped a bit. Wiggins has stepped up a little bit, but they've got these young guys that I think they're ready to step up.
I'm a little afraid of the Klay Thompson deal. We talked about it a bit. He basically has the yips. Like he said, he didn't play a lot this offseason. He has a mental block. He said that. He has a mental block that he's going to face one day. And that's scary. I like the Warriors a lot. So you think they're a 1 seed again?
I think they're a 1 seed.
And do you think they come out of the West?
No.
Okay. I don't think they'll be a 1 seed. It's tough to say. I am rooting for them.
Yeah.
I like Golden State. Go ahead. What do you got?
Did these 5 teams in the East tank? Wizards, Charlotte,
No, I can't.
Indiana, Orlando, Detroit.
Okay. The Wizards, won't take. They're too stupid of a franchise to tank because they had Bradley Beal. What's the next one? Charlotte won't tank because, again, they're too stupid a franchise. Michael Jordan.
They should, though.
Michael Jordan thinks they're probably winning the championship this year.
Back to back.
Okay, what else do you have?
Indiana.
Indiana sucks. Even if they don't tank, they're going to tank accidentally because they're terrible.
Okay, Orlando, Detroit.
They're in the same tier. They're not going to tank, but they understand that they're finishing off a year where they tanked.
They're going to play young guys. They're going to lose some close games, but that's okay.
The Grizzlies, Ja MVP season. Are they going to live up to what they did last year? What's the deal?
I've got the Grizzlies as the 4 seed. Unfortunately, the Jared Jackson injury hurts a fair amount because if he could stay healthy, he's a great all-around player, great defensive player. I've got them as 4. Unfortunately, I think they take a bit of a step back, even though I love Ja. He's awesome.
Do you love Ja?
Yeah, he's great.
Okay.
So much fun to watch. Man, I like the fact that you told me that they got him a landing coach or something like that.
I don't think the Grizzlies did, but yeah, basically you can look it up. John Moran has a guy who helps him land, and they work on all sorts of stuff, and they do landing practice. I just think that's sweet.
It's awesome.
You might like John more than me. We need to do a top 10 favorite players in the NBA.
Okay, he's probably
Don't spoil it.
okay.
Okay, what do you have for me?
Um,
Do you have anything?
no, I'm done.
Okay, really quickly, these bottom feeders of the West. You've got the Blazers, who we talked about a bit. They're kind of in that Lakers tier.
I feel bad for Dame.
I don't, dude.
I do, actually.
No, you could have went to Miami. You could have went to Philly. He had options to join a good team that wasn't a super team, and he didn't. Rockets, Thunder, Kings. I have in another tier where they're kind of similar to the Magic Pistons tier.
Yep.
Where it's like young guys. They're not great. The Kings have some guys. Thunder are going to suck, I think. But they're, right, a healthy... who'd they just lose? Who'd the Thunder just lose? Chet. They're a healthy Chet away from being right where Houston is, I think.
Well, they're going to be poopy again, but we've said it a number of times. Guys like Lou Dort and Shea are going to be like, I'm tired of losing. I want to win.
Shea said something, he said he understands, he's in, he signed his contract knowing what's going to happen. But yeah, we'll see in 2 years when the Knicks come calling. Then I have the Jazz and the Spurs in the, you need to pay me to watch them. That's the tier. Where they need to email me and say, hey, we'll pay for your flight.
It'd be fun to watch Saban Lee. Kelly O, light them up.
Yeah, they're going to both start. I'm really looking forward to basketball.
Perfect.
And I hate ESPN because they had Jimmy Butler as the 17th best player in the NBA.
Stupid.
CBS had him at 10. Good job, CBS.
Yep.
Okay, and you guys can hire me. CBS and ESPN. Feel free to hire.
For sure. Probably should.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thanks everybody. Dale, thanks for joining us on Sunday. That was a really good sports day. Basketball. Play on.
Preseason.
Preseason.
Team Tell Nation.